Good morning, everyone. Ann Martin-Frey here, founder and CEO of Homeless to Independence, Inc. And this is a different video today. I was sent some information by CHRISTY from WONDERMOMS, and I want to get this information out because it is just, it's dear. It's so dear, especially through these extremely tough times. With children with special needs and being home. Now, in most cases, your home is already, if you have a child with special needs, you've already done everything to make your home for your child. I mean, you know, some that cannot speak for themselves or be able to express for themselves, you've already taken all the beautiful and necessary steps. But at times there are grandparents and or like godparents to the child that don't see the child, but in a pinch you might, as that person, want to help in a pinch. So CHRISTY sent me links to articles, and I've checked each one of the links out. Wonderful information. The first one is how to calm a child with autism. The second one is create a sensory safe yard for children with special needs. Next article is sensory processing treatments. And then estate planning for parents with kids with autism. Classroom accommodations for kids with sensory issues. And moving with special needs kids. Awesome articles. So please feel free to share this information with your family, friends, co-workers, loved ones. You know, because it's hard enough for those of us that, are going through this and handling it and wrapping our minds around so many things as we're learning, truth. Because truth is learned, it's not told. It's not something you don't tell somebody the truth. They have to learn the truth. And this is part of that learning. It's hard enough for us as thinking individuals, not that they don't think, oh my God, they came out so wrong. And I didn't mean it like that, but that are not able to process. It means a lot to me. It really does. So this information is also on Homeless to Independence's Americans with Disabilities page. And thank you again, CHRISTY from WONDERMOMS. Okay. As of yesterday, the Small Business Administration updated their guidance with regards to the self-employed, the 1099ers, and the independent contractors. And they released the interim final rule for additional eligibility criteria. This has to do with the PPP loan applicants, which is the Paycheck Protection Program applicants, because it's not just the loan. Now, I was on a webinar yesterday, and the PPP is it doesn't just cover the wages. The PPP also covers rent. It covers the interest on mortgage payments, utilities, all that kind of stuff. All that you're losing your revenue. And the PPP loan is a 1% loan for 2 years. Now, they also have the PPP, which is the grant for $10,000, and there's a box at the end of the PPP at the very end, and you have to click the box, and it's going to ask you if you need that, also that grant, and you click that box. So it's the two things that you're applying for with the PPP for small businesses, nonprofits, even those of us that are all volunteer. I just found out yesterday that I even Homeless to Independence qualifies to apply for the 1% over 2 years. So because of utilities and all that other stuff that is also classified for that. And that PPP loan, though, for those that do have paid wages and paid employees, they need to use 75% of that PPP loan toward payroll. So, and it is in effect as of the date that they receive those funds, not from the 15th of February or anything like that. The day you get the money, you get that loan, that PPP loan, it's from that date. From that date has to cover 75% of your payroll, or because the payroll part will be, they're going to write that off, and you would only be accountable for the other 25%, or whatever portion that you use that is not used, but you can use up to 75% for payroll. Now the EIDL, the EIDL loan for the small businesses is, I wrote it down, where'd it go? 2.75% over 30 years. So it's a lot better than a lot of other rates out there. I know that. I know, and that's the one I'm waiting on, is the EIDL, but I have to apply for Homeless to Independence for the PPP. Even though we don't have payroll, we do have the other costs, and at 1% you can't beat that. So that's that. And so now they're including the individuals for those self-employed who file a 1040 Schedule C. There's all kinds of questions. There's a link for more on Paycheck Protection Program, and not all the banks are included in the PPP Bank program. Are the banks. There's a lot of them that are not. Sorry, I was just searching for a proper word. Not all the banks are partaking, or they're not able to process. The applications are swamped. You could check some of your community banks, small businesses. Check some of the community local banks. And from what I understand, what were they saying yesterday? Very good webinar that Verizon put on with regards to this. I'm trying to think. There was something. I'm so sorry. You know what? When I get the link for that webinar, I'm going to announce it, and I'm going to put that link out there, please, so other folks can see, because the webinar was hosted by Verizon, and it was with the gentleman high up with New Jersey Small Business Administration. I think he was a deputy, or he was one of the top people. Very good webinar. He answered a lot of questions. And of course, a lot of the small business administrations throughout all the states, commonwealths, and territories are having their own webinars. And I'm doing my very best just to email them out. If anybody has a question about a certain state, I mean, you can go to Homeless to Independence's website itself and click on the state, and then all the COVID-19 information that has anything that has to do with that, with the SBA, is being put on our emergency preparedness and disaster response page for each state and commonwealth and territory. So that's about that in a nutshell. But this information here that I'm speaking on is on our recent updates page, and that link is below. Now, there's something else really I want to really speak on, because I've been talking about this now since last year with all the flooding in the Midwest, like in Missouri, in Carrollton, when what Carrollton went through and all their surrounding communities, when the dams were having issues and breaking, and crops didn't even, either the crops didn't get planted, or they got planted and they were lost because of the extreme flooding. Well, folks, we're going to have an issue with food. We really are going to have an issue with food. I'm hearing all kinds of stories. Not just stories, but I'm hearing all kinds of circumstances where the markets are slowing down. The cattle that are able to be slaughtered, they're not able to get the meats to where they need to go. There's been a lot of waste, and it's just, overall, it's a hot mess. So I'm going to be speaking on gardening. Gardening, I think it is time for folks to start container gardens to stay safe and to stay well nourished. And you know what? The stores, yeah, they got seeds. But I have contacts, farmers that sell seed. And I'm going to get that information out. So bear with me. If it's not done today, I want it to be thorough. So it most likely will be tomorrow, this podcast that I'm speaking on with the gardening and container growing. And because there's other things that you can do too. From your vegetables at home, you can start from their seeds. And so I'm going to be doing something also on how to prepare those seeds that you get, like in your peppers and your cucumbers and all, and tomatoes. So let's get this going, folks. It's going to be more beneficial health-wise too. So, and then making your pennies squeal on Facebook especially. I post everything, just about everything I get my hands on. If it has something to do with the little ones, with the children, if it has anything to do with pets, seniors, folks with disabilities, Americans with disabilities, good deals. I have a preppers page also on the website, on our website. So I'm going to be getting all into that. This is something that has been ongoing. I just haven't had a chance to really speak on it. So bear with me, folks, and let me get this podcast out to you. I appreciate everybody's time, and I want to thank everybody for supporting Homeless to Independence and the people we serve. I'll talk to you in a bit. Bye-bye.
They've got to convince you it is a mystery and that it's still to come, or they're out of work.